Hi everyone, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. This is for October 4th. My name is Cyndy. Thank you so very much for being here. To all of my new subscribers, thank you. I'm getting much closer to 10,000 subscribers than I was a while ago, so I thank you for all of your subscriptions, the comments, the thumbs up. It's all appreciated, and I'm really super grateful for it. Okay, so happy October, everybody. This is the month preceding the election in the United States. It is kind of a month of transition. And October always feels, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, it really feels like, okay, now we really are in fall. It's autumn time. The leaves are changing color or whatever it is. And we're moving towards that period of time where we're, I think, a little bit more reflective, a little bit more, I don't know, ready to kind of settle in and cocoon. We want things to settle down and be calm. So there is an astrologer out there, and he certainly doesn't need my recommendation. He's amazing and has a lot of followers, but his name is Stephen Judd, Judd, Astrology. He's British and very dignified. And he has released a video called Global October. And in that, and they're short. They're like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, like that. He talks about October being kind of like a bubbling, brewing, I don't know, feeling of agitation. And it's not directed necessarily, he said, it's not directed at you or me as much as we are directing that frustration and that energy towards leaders, global leaders of countries. So I thought that was really interesting, and it made me think that, we're so close in the United States as this month goes along to the very, to the election. And in many places, early voting and vote by mail, et cetera, has already started or will be starting. So I wanted to take a look just broadly at the month of October. Heaven knows there's so much going on. So let's just take a look. I've got my pendulum out. I'm going to do some cards, but let's start with some pendulum questions. And for those of you who follow along with your pendulums, I absolutely love it when you let me know if the pendulums agree or disagree. So let's get started. I don't have a list in front of me, so if you see me kind of like trolling around in my head trying to figure out what my next question is, have pity on me. Okay, so let's start. For those of you who are new, I'll quickly, when my pendulum goes side to side like that, it is ready to talk. Pendulum, show me yes. It'll go back and forth, and pendulum, show me no. And you'll see it going round and round. You are going to see some slight movement or vibration in my hand. That is because the length of it is so short. If I was using a longer pendulum, you would barely see any vibration at all. But it is the energy from my hand, etc. It's all connected in this sort of ball of space. The reason I use this one, first of all, is it's really connected to me. We get answers quickly and fast. It has a very high accuracy rating. And frankly, it's just easier on camera to do something that is, easily seen within the screen. Here we go. First question, pendulum. Is Judge Eileen Cannon likely to experience any professional consequences as a result of the rulings of that she is issuing that so heavily lean towards Trump? And that's a really big, strong yes. For those of you who may be new and are wondering, very often the pendulum will actually start asking or answering the question before I finished answering it. That's because the pendulum, it's reading sort of the energy or my mind thoughts. Hey, I can do this just by thinking it. Sorry, it was too good a space to put it in there. So if you're wondering why that happened, that's why. Okay. Pendulum. Is there going to be any significant violence in the United States connected to early voting or in the lead up to the election, any like significant violence or anything like that? No. Okay. Is Donald Trump going to continue to find his support diminishing? Okay, so that's a yes. And so further, does this pertain to financial support in terms of donations? It's a pretty strong yes, that is, boy, oh boy, oh boy. And in terms of the physical support, the tangible support in terms of the people who are around him, are they also going to pull back and continue to not just be able? Okay, yeah. And does this include, the people that were sort of involved in the insurrection? Is he starting to lose his grip on even some of those? Okay, yes. Now listen, we know this. Are the people who are considered Trumpers, are they going to, at this point, continue to hold fast? Yeah. Okay. So it's the ones who don't see themselves as Trumpers. It's Republicans, independents, and even people who, for whatever variety of reasons, really responded to Trump or resonated with him. Even some of those are just starting to pull away and say that's kind of enough already. Okay. As a result of the upcoming midterms, are the Democrats going to hold the House? Yes. So Nancy Pelosi is going to remain Speaker of the House? Yes. Are the Democrats going to hold or increase the numbers for the U.S. Senate? Okay, that's a yes. Is Schumer going to continue to be leader of the Senate, whatever that title is? Yes. Is the Senate going to increase in the Democrats' favor by more than 2 seats? Yes. Is it going to increase by somewhere between 2 and 5 seats? And that's also a very strong yes. Now, remember, everybody has to do their work. Everybody has to get out there and vote and, support the voting, take your neighbor to the voting station, whatever it is, okay? This is an all hands on deck kind of situation here in the United States. Is Beto O'Rourke likely to win and take the seat, be sworn in as governor of Texas? That's a yes. Is Marco Rubio going to lose his seat in Florida? That's a yes. Is the DeSantis response to the horrendous damage and destruction created by Ivan, is his behavior and his reaction going to help him in terms of his reelection as governor? No. I said in a previous reading that there would be something would happen, there would be time, and we would be able to see DeSantis's true colors. So, remember, he is the one who, when Hurricane Sandy blew through New Jersey and that area, that he said, listen, it is absolutely not the job of the federal governments to bail these people out. Let them go to their state government. We have nothing to do with that. I don't know if he was a senator or he was a House member or Republican. I don't remember. But anyways, doesn't matter. And of course, now hat in hand, he goes marching to Biden, and the first thing he says right out of the gate is, "Hey, look, we need federal help." So, I want the people in Florida to get the help, but I also want them to be well and truly reminded of what DeSantis actually feels, or said he felt, about federal funds helping in times of disaster. Because the hypocrisy has gotten to the point, truly, in American politics, where it is so out of control, you actually can't, it's so big, you can't even see the edges of it anymore. It's just like insane. Okay. Alrighty. John Fetterman, is he going to win over Dr. Oz? Yes. Okay. I don't have a list of sort of the names of people who are, like, running against each other in various areas. So I can't do a whole lot of that because I'm only can sort of think of the ones that really, really jump out at me. But I'm going to try to compile a list of the more important races, and we'll do a pendulum on that just a little bit down the road. Okay. Generally speaking, is Trump going to continue to receive bad news in terms of his legal fights? Yes. Is there actually going to be um, I guess, a state of New York case, which would fall under the jurisdiction of that Alvin Bragg guy, against Trump or the Trump family for business dealings? Is he actually finally going to go through with that and go forward with that? And that's receiving a pretty strong yes, too. So, can we assume that the investigation has started to pick up some speed in that? And that's also looking like a yes. I think the bottom line there is Alvin Bragg didn't like to be shown up by Tish James. Okay, I think that's really what it was. It was like he was outmaneuvered and outdone and outsmarted by a woman. I'm not saying one way or the other. I just think he didn't like it. Okay, let me see what else I can ask. Um, was Russia behind the sabotage on the Nordic Stream? I think it's a gas line that runs under the or at the ocean floor. Was Russia behind that sabotage? Yes. Okay. Ukraine has applied to NATO for an expedited membership. Is that going to be granted? Is NATO going to receive, membership at NATO? Yes. Okay. I have seen that the war in Ukraine, that is this going to go on past the 1 year anniversary mark? Is it going to go past sort of the end of February of 2023? Yeah, that's a no. Are allied forces going to need to become involved with boots on the ground to help Ukraine? Okay, you see the pendulum has gone perfectly still. That happens when one of two things. Either the answer is not determined yet, or the question I'm asking is not my business, basically. that information. They don't want it. They don't want to make a statement on it. So that's what happens when I ask something I shouldn't. Okay. And just a quick one for the people who are watching in Alberta, who are particularly concerned about the leadership race for the United Conservative Party, which the voting is taking place on October 6th, so 2 days from now. Is Danielle Smith ultimately likely to win that race? Okay, that's a small no. In Alberta, for this leadership thing, honest to God, it's like one of those situations where you vote, and then whoever does, and then when you don't get like 50 plus 1%, then it goes to another vote and another vote and another vote. And what happens is the people with the lower votes sort of become eliminated. The more important question, honestly, to my mind, is the Alberta provincial election is, I believe it is in May of 2023. Is the United Conservative Party going to win the majority in that election? As of right now, the answer is no. Does that bring the NDP party back into power here in Alberta? And that's a yes. I was actually having lunch with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I said to her, honestly, I really hope that Danielle Smith wins, because if she does, that's almost going to guarantee that the NDP will be back in power. Hang on a second, I had cards flying. Okay, so I'm going to take a look just at October. Specifically, I'm going to look at October in terms of the U.S., just what's going on pre-election, whether it's about Trump. I think Trump is going to have a very, very difficult October. I can tell you that just energetically. But let's just take a look and see what is in store in the United States for the month of October. Here we go. USA trajectory October, USA trajectory October, USA trajectory October. We're looking overall. Okay, so as we go through the month of October and sort of lead up to the election, you can anticipate that there's going to be a lot of mixed messaging going on. There's going to be a lot of attack ads going on. There's going to be a lot of misconstruing information. There's going to be confusion created pertaining to the voting, whether that is misinformation going out about where people vote or when they can vote, or I'm not sure, but you're going to want to make sure that you know exactly where you're going to poll. You have that information sorted out ahead of time, and that if you can vote early, you do so. I'm not seeing a lot of actual danger around voting, but I'm definitely seeing a lot of sort of I don't know, like confusion and people being told different stories, and the attack ads are going to increase. On the upside, the Democrats are protected. They sort of have the high ground in this situation. And by and large, they are going to be able to continue to keep the Republicans on the defense. On the defense. The Republicans cannot, get everybody to focus on whatever it is they want people to focus on, because what is concerning people are things like, abortion, the economy. And this is the thing: the Republicans can yell and scream all they want about the economy, but the economy is doing so much better than it was under Trump, under Biden, and all these new initiatives and things that have been signed in. There's going to be a real push to get people to remember, you know, who did that, and how things are moving. And the other thing too is, hopefully there will be a recognition and a reality that literally we are in a global recession. I don't know if the money managers or those people would say that, but honestly, we are all being impacted by this nonsense with Russia. And so it's not just the United States. It's not just Canada. It's not just the UK. It's all of us. And it's important to remember that. And it's also important to remember who caused the trigger. Okay? So there's that. It, there's the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords here, and it feels, and here of course is the Queen of Pentacles, because why not? So this very, very much is going to be about, there's going to be a focus this month on the issues that concern women, concern moms, concern, kitchen table issues. It's going to be about women's rights, women's integrity, women's ability to make the choices they need to make. And there's just going for, again, I see this amping up. I'm not sure what is or isn't on the agenda. It seems to me that the Supreme Court is going back in session, or it's just gone back in session, and they've got some pretty heavy duty cases that they're looking at. Heaven only knows what's going to happen there. But it definitely feels like there's a very strong push of women and divine feminine energy who are just saying enough is enough is enough. We're not putting up with this. And it's for them, they are getting their message out loud and clear. And they are saying that which you are trying to destroy, we will basically destroy you. If you're not going to vote to support women and families and children and kids not getting murdered in schools, at all of it, we're going to make sure we end your term in office. Okay. So it honestly feels like there are going to be some interesting kind of endings coming up. It feels in some ways very much like, even prior to election day, there's going to be some races that looked like they were a toss up, almost becoming determined before the vote. Like the energy is going to be going in one direction, and that direction is about that which supports the family, supports women, supports inclusiveness, that which lives in actual objective reality. Okay. We've got the 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So what this is talking about is the Dems are going to overall have more money at their disposal, or be able to use it more wisely. And the Republicans, for some reason, you're going to see again a pulling back of where they are putting their resources. So those places that have low quality candidates for the Republicans, they're not going to get funding, or they're going to get very, very little funding, because in reality, the Republicans are starting to realize, particularly Mitch McConnell, that if he doesn't get a rein on this, he's going to completely lose control of his senators. And so you're going to see where there's a lot of like politics actually being played in terms of who gets the money and who gets the support and who doesn't. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Um, expect, you know who, the former guy wannabe king, expect him to continue to be making waves and yapping. He's going to be talking about stuff. Honestly, it's going to get to the point where people just wish he would shut the hell up. Not, of course, that the vast majority of us don't already wish that. But he's going to be out there blabbing and blabbing. And the reason he's going to be blabbing and blabbing is because he literally sees that victory is slipping away from him. And understand, like, not only is it victory for him personally in terms of he needs this election to go really well because that's going to set him up for 2024. But he also realizes that as this election sort of continues to unfold, as we go through the month of October, the midterms are really important in terms of, I don't know if the January 6th investigation are going to be allowed to continue undisturbed. Now, they should be wrapped up, and we're absolutely going to get at least one public hearing, one televised hearing in October. But there's sort of, he feels like if that doesn't happen, people are going to continue to come after him. He also is going to be seeing that legally victory is getting snatched away from him. That's sort of what it feels like it's receding, and he keeps trying to grab it, and it's just out of reach. There is a YouTube station called or channel called David Pakman. I'm sure most of you know it. I saw a video of his just this morning, actually. Actually, a couple mornings ago. And he was talking about the PAC that in turn funds Donald Trump's legal fees only raised $40 last year. That's right, 20 plus 20 equals 40. So something's going on there, and Trump is just going to keep screaming and yelling and getting louder and louder and crazier because he's recognizing that he is not winning this war. It is not going well for him. And what's happening, in fact, is that sort of I don't know, the popularity, the success, the dreams, because this is it. He wants to get reelected so he can shut everything down, right? This isn't about some great need for him to be altruistic and save the country. This is absolutely about him getting back into a position of power sufficient so that he can shut down investigations, so that he can delay things. And that doesn't look like it's going to work for him. And I'll tell you why it doesn't look like it's going to work for him. Because overall, even though there's a lot of crazy going on in October globally, in the United States specifically, as you move closer and closer to the end of the year, so the election, the rest of November, Thanksgiving, into Christmas, into the new year, it feels as if there's going to be sort of a sense of sort of abundance or prosperity, a sense of sort of, okay, everybody can just exhale finally. The crazies have been, at least to some degree, put in their place, and not all of them, but it's going to feel to the American people, except for the Trumpers, like things have started to really come back into control again, that kind of their wishes and their dreams have been answered, that things can settle down a little bit. And that's going to be a very powerful energy that the former guy really isn't going to be equipped to push against, particularly as he continues to lose support. Why is that happening? It's happening because it looks as if there is going to be a balancing or a temperance of the energy in the United States. It feels as if after the midterms, a lot of kind of that real extreme right wing energy is going to start dissipating. It's not going away. It's here for a long time, and I'm not sugarcoating this, but it feels as if there's definitely, I don't know, kind of a balancing, a settling down, just a feeling like, okay, all right, let's just kind of breathe. Let's just go forward, okay? And listen, you've got the 10 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles, all showing up within really not that many cards, okay? So October is going to be difficult, but it is paving the way for a smoother road ahead. So buckle up, but keep your focus on that which is positive, and keep your focus on kind of going forward, the going forward. What happens after the midterms when the Dems, kind of establish a stronger hold on the House and the Senate? I don't know if they're actually going to gain seats in the House, but they're going to hold the House for sure. All right. So that's what I know for now. Thank you very, very much for being here. Private readings, send me out, if you're interested, send me out just a quick note to soulprint888@gmail.com. And I'm booking now the beginning of November. All right. Take good care. I will see you soon. Take care. Be well. Until next time. Bye-bye for now.